Infonet, can you confirm we can proceed?
You can comment now. The recording has started.
All right, so good afternoon, everyone. I can confirm that the call is being recorded. Once again, you are all welcome to our special event tagged Breathe 101, where we designed for our members and general public to learn about healthy living and how to improve the quality of life. We're really sorry that we are starting later than planned, and I hope that we'll have a smooth um, event as we move on. Okay, so we'll be starting, and we'll be starting with opening prayer. The opening prayer will be a collective recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha. So let us just keep our mic muted and collectively recite Surah Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. So we will start, and then we'll be starting immediately with the lecture because time is fast spent. And we'll be starting with the lecture titled the lecture is titled healthy. The theme of the event itself is healthy living and work-life balance. And our lecturer today is Mr. Taiwo Abdul Kareem Babatunde. Mr. Taiwo Babatunde, please can you confirm that you're on the call, sir, and you can hear me?
I'm with you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for your time. So, Mr. Taiwo Abdul Kareem Babatunde is a lecturer in the Department of Human Kinetics, Sports, and Health Education, Lagos State University, Ojo. We'll be speaking to us today on health awareness in workplace, with a special focus on healthy living and work-life balance. We have decided to bring an expert in this field to share his thoughts with us so that at least we can learn and improve ourselves. And also, when he's done, we have Hajia Muinat Akinsanya, who is a director, medical laboratory scientist, Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. She will be sharing her thoughts with us as well as a discussant. So permit me to hand over the mic to Mr. Abdul Karim so that he can take us through. We really appreciate your presence, sir. Thank you. You can go on, sir. Thank you.
جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على النبي محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Alhamdulillah, we give thanks to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made today possible for us. We planned and he has made this our planning to be possible for today. We thank him for that. So my apology. Firstly, I'm on transit, so I would like to quickly rush this lecture because of I'm not at my comfort zone. So my laptop battery is a bit low. So I will run fast with the lectures. In case if I'm not online, can drop the questions. I will follow on with my own. So Can I share my slide? Hello, moderator, sir.
Yes, sir, you can go ahead to share a slide. Infinite, can you confirm you can share screen?
Because so while we wait for that, I will just quickly so that to not waste of our time. The task before me today is a very simple and also a very tedious one, but we'll pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy. So health generally, the way we see our health, we all have different perspective about health, and we all have different attitude to our health. In fact, health is one of the most abused opportunities, because health is an opportunity. However, it's one of the most abused opportunity that we ever have. Most times we abuse our health. We think we actually don't do things that are necessary to keep our health in shape. So today, the lecture, I'm not going to bore us. I will make it to be as short as possible and to be as precise as possible. So while we are waiting for the slide, I'll just take us, today's lecture will take us to the importance of what health is, because if you don't understand something, you may not know how to work towards it. We'll take us to what is health. Then we will take us to sometimes, again, if you don't know the problem, we may not even know how to solve the problem. But if we are convinced that there's a problem, then we'll be motivated to solve that problem. So we take us through the burden of cardiovascular disease and metabolic disease, which are the most common diseases. In fact, they are the leading cause of mortality and morbidity in the world presently. So, and so if we understand this and we understand the statistics, then we'll see why we need to take our health serious. So while we're doing that, so we also talk about the tips on how to take our health serious. And one of those is the use of exercise. How exercise or physical activities can help us enhance our health, and also to also manage some chronic diseases that are common among all of us. So can I share? Is it okay? I'm still unable to share my slide.
Just hold on, so I'm trying to check it. Just hold on, apologies.
Okay, okay. So we will also, as I said, we will look at and also some of the tips that we can, things that we can do to actually take good care of our health in terms of physical activities, because it has been proven that about 80% of the chronic disease that we have are due to what you call sedentariness or sedentary lifestyle. So some of us will think that I'm active, I go to work every day, so I'm active. But no, we may go to work every day and we'll still be living a sedentary lifestyle. So by the time through this course of this lecture, we'll look at those sedentary activities that are common among us and what we can do to also improve that. So inshallah, after that, then I think by the end of this lecture, we'll have had a better insight on how to take care of our health, and those not just only us and those around us, and also in our workplace, because we are relating this lecture to our workplace. What are those ergonomical uh, principles or variables that we do that are so that has negative effect on our health, and how can we balance between our work and our health? So while I wait for the slide, so I think I should just continue. So we need to understand, just like I said, before we can solve a problem, we need to even understand what that problem is. We need to understand what health is. So with our good understanding of health,
You can try to share your screen now, sir.
okay, thank you. Okay, is the screen up now, sir?
It's coming up. Yes, we can see it now. You can just help us put it in presentation.
Okay, sir. Okay. Am I good to go now, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So, like I said, so the objective, what we want to understand exercise and benefits of exercise and mindfulness. I've explained all this while we are waiting for the slide. So now let's go to the real why we are here. So the first thing is, what is health? We need to understand what is health. Health is not just, many of us would think that only when we are sick. That was only our being healthy is just when there's absence of illness. No, it goes beyond that. So according to one of the most widely agreed, even though there are concerns about it, definition of health is that of the WHO. And it says that health is a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not just mere absence of disease or infirmity. So what this is telling us that health encompasses three components. We have the physical component, we have the mental component, and also we have the social component. So in other words, to be healthy, you must be physically well, mentally well, and also socially well. Oftentimes, we concentrate on the physical aspects. So we neglect especially the mental aspect and even the social aspect of health. So the physical aspect is talking about our system, how well our system are working, our cardiovascular system, the various system and functions in our body, how well they are working optimally. That's the physical. We understand that okay, I'm fine. Nothing is wrong with me. Physically, I'm fine. So that's not enough. With that, we cannot say the person is healthy. So that's also look at the mental aspect of it. How is that person able to manage stress? How is the person able to control his or her emotion? So the mental health deals with it is an abstract part of health that you cannot see, and that's why it is very difficult to measure. We can't see it, but it deals with how an individual is able to cope with situation around it, the mental or the cognitive ability of that person to regulate his or her emotion and also to manage stress. So the last component is the social component. This social component, this is also very important, although it is often neglected. It's talking about the social, what is our social relationship in our workplace? How do we relate with people? Are you socially healthy? Are you the type that you are you relate with people, or are you the type that you just want to be on your own? Everybody knows you that I don't go there. This kind of person is not friendly or she's not friendly. So for you, so if somebody is physically, mentally, but socially has problem interacting with people, we say that the person is still not healthy. For someone to be healthy, he or she has to be physically, mentally, and socially healthy. And this in health, we call it the triangular dimension of health. Talk about the social health, the mental health, and also the physical health. So now, I believe that we understand what health is now. As in a layman language, we can also say something about health, what health means. So now, so why do we have to take care of our health? Is there any need for us to take care of our health? So there are many reasons why we need to take care of our health. And one of them, one of the most important reason is to so that we can be healthy, so that we can be free from illness and diseases, especially chronic diseases. So recently, recently in the world generally, there's a problem. And the problem, there's a surge of cardiovascular and metabolic disease problem. Cardiovascular and metabolic disease, as they are the most leading cause of deaths worldwide. And when we talk about cardiovascular disease, we are talking about those diseases that affect the heart, the blood vessels, and also the veins. And this can be in form of hypertension, chronic stroke, coronary heart disease, and the likes. Also, on the other hand, we have the metabolic disease disorder. These are disorders that affect the body's ability to, to process nutrients efficiently. And they often lead to conditions such as diabetes, obesity, and the likes. Studies have shown that the prevalence of these two, at this particular disease, the cardiovascular and the metabolic disease, is on the rise. And we cannot do a simple research. Even from those, some of those that are here, the ones that I have mentioned, high blood pressure, diabetes, and the likes. Let's take a head count. I'm not inside us. That how many of us are, or how many people do we know around us that has at least one of this condition, that is managing one of these conditions. So we understand why it is important to us to take care of our health. Because one of the problems with some of these diseases is that there's no cure for them. You can only manage them. So the best thing is to prevent having them. The best thing is prevention. But once you are confirmed you have been diagnosed of any of these diseases, the only thing you can do is to manage it till the rest of your life. So prevention is better than, as I say, is better than cure. So one of the important reasons why we have to take care of our health is to prevent these two most dangerous diseases that has been widely agreed to be the leading cause of deaths worldwide. So, having said this, we may not understand the severity of this. So, I'll take us to some statistics, some recent statistics about especially these two diseases. In 2019, the WHO reported that cardiovascular diseases such as high blood pressure and the likes affect 31% of the global population. That's 31% of the population are affected with these diseases. And it also accounts for about 17.9 million deaths globally. That's about 32% of the global deaths. So all the deaths, what this means that of all the people that died in that year, 32% of them died of cardiovascular disease. That's how serious this is. It is not stopped there. To now show that there is a gradual rise in the progression, it's not stopping there. It is further projected that by year 2025 that we are in, that 20.5 million people will die of cardiovascular disease. These are disturbing health statistics, but we need these statistics so that we will understand the importance and why we need to take our health serious, and why programs like this should be organized periodically so that to sensitize people so that they can have information about and what to do to secure their health. So furthermore, apart from that, it is now projected by the year 2050, the number of people that will have cardiovascular will have increased. That about 90%, there will be 90% increase. That is about 35.6 million people will be what? Will have cardiovascular disease by the year 2050. So if we are to go by this data alone, it shows that there's fire on the mountain. And for us to substantiate these statistics, let's look around us. Let's do a survey in the past from the beginning of January to now, how many people you know that have died of any form of cardiovascular or metabolic disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, coronary heart disease? Look around you, you will see that the number is increasing. This shows that these are not just mere figures, but they are facts. They are figures that we need to be proactive and we do something about it. So this is just the graphical. You can see the progression from 20.5 million in 2019. It's going to increase to 35.6 million in year 2050. So some of us will say, okay, this will not be my portion, but it will only not be our portion if we take the right precaution. So now, we've talked about this cardiovascular disease, metabolic disease. What can we do? What are the risk factors? There are basically two risk factors, which are what they call the heredity. Can be hereditary, which means that you can inherit some of these diseases from your parents. For instance, high blood pressure can be inherited from your parents. And another risk factor is lifestyle. So heredity and lifestyle are the two major risk factors of this disease that I've mentioned. I decided to base my listing on these two diseases because they are the most serious. They are the most serious. So, but the good thing is, even if you inherit any of this disease from any of your parents, your lifestyle determines the manifestation of this disease in you. It is possible that your parents may die of hypertension or have hypertension, and you know. Though there is a possibility that you may not die of hypertension if you do the right thing. So lifestyle modification is very important, even though for those that have inherited or that have the family history of any of this obesity and go, they can be they are hereditary in nature. But even with that too, it is possible for someone who has this and with a good lifestyle, it may not be a problem. So what are those unhealthy lifestyle that can lead to some of these cardiovascular and metabolic diseases I have mentioned, especially for us professionals? The first one is poor diet, unhealthy diet. Many of us, due to the nature, due to our busy nature, we don't eat healthily because we are so busy with work. Sometimes we skip our breakfast, we don't eat, and if we want to eat, we don't eat what the right nutrients. We take most of our time on junks and soft drinks, carbonated drinks. Another key factor is sedentary behavior. Sedentary behavior is another factor that can predispose is a risk factor of some of these that I've mentioned. Sedentary behavior is talking about not having sufficient physical activities. Are they not expending enough calorie in a day? We'll talk about it more. Another one is smoking. Smoking, alcohol consumption, poor sleeping pattern is also another factor that can predispose one to this cardiovascular disease. And lastly, stress. Stress, especially occupational stress from our workplace. Occupational stress is one of the leading type of stress that affects the working population. So to lead an healthy life, we must take care of these 6 items that I've mentioned. So now I'm going to start with the sedentary behavior. Of all the unhealthy lifestyle mentioned, sedentary behavior is the most dangerous. It is more dangerous than even smoking because sedentary behavior has killed than more than how smoking or any other disease has killed individuals. So, what are sedentary behavior? Sedentary behavior includes activities such as sitting down for a long period, sitting down for a long period, just like some of us, when we get to the office by 8 o'clock or by 9 o'clock, we sit until around 4 o'clock before we go home. Sitting, not expending so much energy. So sedentary behavior has been identified as the fourth leading cause of deaths globally, and it has in according to WHO, approximately 3.2 million deaths annually from sedentary behavior, not having enough physical activities, spending so much time sitting, watching televisions, doing activities that will not allow you to expend much calories. Some of us, you may think that, but I'm working. I've been working in my office since morning. But what you are doing is a mental stress. You are not expending energy. You are not burning those calories. You are not burning those fats that are in your body as you sit for a long time. So examples of sedentary activities that I've mentioned are excessive watching of TV. Some of us, especially once we look at this lifestyle, we get to work. From work, we are in our car. We get to work from 8 o'clock. We are on our seats attending to different meetings and schedules, sitting until we leave around maybe 6 o'clock in the evening. So when we get home in the evening, we shower, we sit in the parlor to watch TV, listening to news and other things. From that 6, some of us will be there till around maybe 10 o'clock before we go to sleep. Technically, you have sat for the whole of that day. If you calculate it very well, calculate the number of times you sit from your car to your office, from where you are in the office till you leave, calculate the number of times you are sitting. Then when you get home, calculate the hours you sat down till you went to bed. You'll see that you have sat for almost basically throughout the day. Another one is prolonged use of system. It can be on the system. Some of us that are especially the working class can be even on weekends, can be on our system from morning, from after Subway. See, maybe probably the only time you stand up is when you want to go and observe solar. You come back, you may not leave that system until later in the evening. And some of us could be playing video games. Some being on social media. This for females, you can be on social media from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook, and it can be from there from morning till night. It can also be in our office that we sit down, taking different attending to different official duties, meetings, and the likes. It can be a long distance traveling. All these are sedentary behavior because you were sitting and you are not doing any physical that amount to you are burning energy. You are not burning fats. So, having mentioned all this, we understand what sedentary behavior is and what sedentary behavior can cause to our health. One of the, as I said, it is the fourth leading cause of death globally because sedentary behavior leads to cardiovascular diseases and also metabolic diseases. All this arise. I'm not going to bore you with the physiological aspects on how it happens, but I just want you to know that it is when you are not having enough physical activities, conditions, health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity occur. And all these are things that can, even though did not kill, that can make life miserable because they are illness that are not, they are not for that, they are not curable. You can only manage them, as I have mentioned earlier. You can only manage cardiovascular or metabolic diseases. They are not diseases that can be cured. So, what do we do to prevent this by maintaining our health? So, the first thing is nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. The Yorubas will say, oúnjẹ lọ̀rẹ́ àwọ̀, oúnjẹ dẹ̀ ni ọ̀tá àwọ̀. What you eat goes a long way to determine who you are. So eat balanced diets. Eat foods that are whole food, that contain grains and a lot of vegetables. Reduce protein, reduce fats. Also, do not eat excessively and do not starve yourself. Some of us, because we say we want to watch our weight, we don't eat. Not eating is not good for your health. But what? Portion your food. Also, you should do away, avoid processed foods or foods that are rich in sugar. So the World Health Organization, one of the ways in which we can maintain our diets that I have mentioned is called the principle of my plate. The principle of my plate. The principle of my plate states that for every meal, your plate should contain, half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. But at any time you want to eat, half of what you want to eat should be fruit and vegetable. Then the quarter should be grain, like cereal, rice, and the likes. Then the remaining half should be protein. If you are able to maintain this, you'll be able to lead a good life. Also, another way to prevent or to also our health, especially as professionals, is regular exercise. In my department, we have a slogan that we call it to say, keep fit, stay healthy. If you want to live long, keep walking. Walk. When I say walk, I'm not talking about walk, I'm talking about keep moving, keep moving if you want to live long. Do not lead a sedentary lifestyle. At least engage in aerobic exercise. Aerobic exercise are exercise that raises your heartbeats beyond the normal level. Engage in at least 115 minutes of exercise in a week. It's very simple. You can have just 30 minutes in a week in 3 days. Have 3 days in a week that you take a walk, maybe 1 kilometer. Start with 500 meters, improve to 1 kilometer. Take a walk, jog, do skipping. You can also engage in strength exercise and also flexibility exercise. You can do flexibility exercise in your house. You can do press up, push up, and the likes. All this will help you to burn those accumulated fats in your body, thereby preventing diseases such like coronary heart disease and also the excessive fat deposits in your body. Also, so we have different activities that you can engage in, as you can do skipping, cycling, jogging. There are some exercises that you can even do within your house. You don't need to come outside. For some of us, within even if you stay in a room apartment, you can have enough exercise within your house that will make you to stay healthy and to be safe from some of these things that we have mentioned. The next one is sleep. This also affects some of the professionals. Recently, there is epidemic of irregular sleep pattern. We don't sleep well. We don't sleep well. Some of us, we will not sleep until around 12, until around 11, and by 4 o'clock, we are ready. We are awake to prepare for the next day. To be healthy, at least you must sleep for 7 to 9 hours daily of quality sleep. when it's talking about quality sleep, their quality sleep are prolonged sleep. Like not the one that you sleep, you wake up, you sleep again, and after 10 minutes you wake up. A prolonged sleep of like 7 to 9 hours daily. Also on the weekend, you can also schedule nap weekend. Another way to keep healthy is hydration. Take water. Water is life. Take enough water. At least you must take 2 to 3 liters of water in a day to be healthy. And also avoid sugary or carbonated foods. And also some of these herbal products, herbal teas and nice. I'm not against herbal products, but my problem with them is the dosage. Sometimes we use them to solve a problem and we create another problem. So I'm not going to say much on that because that's a very controversial area. So I'm not going to say much on it. So we've talked about all what I've mentioned deals with how to take care of our physical health. So how do we take care of our, we said our health. We have the physical, the mental, and the social aspects. How do we take care of our the mental and the social aspect of our health? One of the strategy to take care of our mental or emotional health is called mindfulness. It is one of the most potent way of reducing stress. One of the major problem of the working class is stress, especially what they call the physical stress and psychological stress. And one of the ways to reduce this stress is through mindfulness. So how do we achieve this through mindfulness? So I'm just going to give us some of the tips, some of the things that we can do. There are simple things that we need to do but they have a huge benefit. The first one is meditation. When last have you just sat for a while and just meditate? Only you have a quiet time. Don't think about any problem of this world. Take your mind away from the problem. Just connect your body with your soul. That's what meditation is about. It helps to ease stress. Another way you can use is through what they call the body scan exercise. Pay attention to your body. For instance, as you are walking, you take a step as you are walking, you pay attention to each steps you are taking. It helps you to be more focused and also to ease stress. Also, what they call the mindful eating. It's something that's almost something as the mindful walking. That's to do with being conscious of every bite that you are taking as you are chewing. Put your mind in that activities. It helps to reduce stress. And the most important of it is what they call the breathing exercise. This is very important. It is very potent for releasing stress and also for anxiety. How do we do this? Take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Do it 10 times. Rest, go again, breathe in again, breathe out again. Another way you can do this is, another way you can do this mindful exercise is through yoga exercise. So I'm going to show you example of, this is a session with my student on yoga. I'm just going to, so it is one of the ways. So yoga exercise is also a mindful exercise that can be used to relax the body, to also connect the body. It's something you can do within your house, within your home, without any form of hindrance in your house. So what are the benefits of exercise? So what are the benefits of regular exercise? We have what we call, we have the cardiovascular health benefits. It helps to improve the cardiovascular function. It lowers blood pressure, also reduces blood sugar. Also, it strengthens the bone and also the muscles. And also, it helps to regulate mood for those for depression, and it also has its own cognitive boost. Okay. So I may have to run through the system, and my system is already low. So these are the benefits of the mindful exercise. It reduces stress, it regulates emotion, also improve focus, and also helps to make have better sleep. So how do we build sustainable habits? The first principle is start small. Start small, then you progress. Then another way is to set a goal. Set a goal. Set a SMART objective. SMART means specific, measurable, attainable. So make sure that those the goals that you want to start exercising, don't start from something that you can achieve that is specific. That okay, I want to start jogging. I want to take care of my have a big stomach, and I want to reduce the belly fat. That's specific. Then it has to be measurable. That okay, by in the next 3 months, I want to reduce my weight to maybe from 85. Also is measurable. So that will be something that is achievable. Don't set a goal that is not achievable. Try to say, okay, within 2 weeks, I want to reduce from 80 kg to 30 kg. That's not achievable. And lastly, is that you track your progress, and you also celebrate your progress. This will help you. You can ask yourself, okay, wow, I've achieved this within so much. So that will motivate you to do more. Moderator, sir, am I still on? I'm not sure if I'm still on.
Yes, you are still on, sir.
Okay, so please, I will need to round up because of my battery here. So thank you for your attention.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. So it's really very comprehensive. Once again, we want to appreciate you for your time and for sharing your knowledge with us. So quickly, we'll go into the second part, which is the discussion. Under this part is Hajia Muinat Akinsanya. Hajia Muinat is a lecturer at the medical at the Lagos University Institute, and is a medical laboratory scientist, and she will walk us through the section on health awareness in the workplace. I want to believe the female participants on this call will benefit more from our session, just like the male too. So, Hajia, please, you can proceed now with your statement.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. A'udhu billahi
Yes.
minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the organizers of this program for coming up with such a program, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite mercy will make it a success for this one and subsequent ones. And I'd like to also thank the first lecturer that dealt with the topic, and he has even said, most of the things I want to say. And we really, I too really enjoyed, and I thank him for the enlightenment. Well, as a discussant, first and foremost, I'd like to apologize that I won't be sharing slides. I don't have a functional laptop, and the time given to me is very short. I'm just given 10 minutes to add to what my brother, the former lecturer, said. So I don't want to bore you with repetition of what he has said in details. But my own addition to as a discussant is, in our office is like our second home. Second home in the sense that the number of hours we spent is quite much too. If you are doing an 8 to 5 job, a 9 to 5 job, or 8 to 4, whatever, you spend at least not a minimum of 6 hours. And definitely that is a part of your life and a part of your health. So how you take care of your health in your workplace matters a lot, considering the fact that you are also under, stress because you are working. So, like my brother, like the former lecturer has already said, I'll still just touch a little, bit by bit on what he has said and add my own contribution. When we mention food, yes, food is life. You have to eat to keep yourselves alive. Most times, we try and skip breakfast and then said we are busy or we're on the move or there is no space, and then just go for snacks or something light. Your breakfast is the most important meal of the day because you have slept overnight, your glucose levels is low when you wake up, and you are still going to work. You are going to leave the home, probably drive or enter public transport, and you get to work. You are going to tax your brain. Either you are sitting with your computer, you are going to tax your brain. Either you are moving around, you're a teacher, you're moving around, you need glucose. So your breakfast is very important in the sense that that is what is going to boost your metabolism. And you have to be deliberate about what you're going to eat for breakfast. Don't say because you need food for the energy for the day, you now make a humongous quantity of meal. No, but at least make it balanced diet that has all what my brother has said, and at the same time, it will keep you going while you are at office. And then most times lunch might not be feasible because it's probably your lunch time, you are getting ready to go home and things, or you might be in transit. But when you get home and you want to eat your dinner or late food, you don't make it too, you know, too voluminous too, because there won't be room for that for the metabolism to work fast. Because when you eat your dinner, probably pray your salat, the next thing is to go to bed. You are not engaging in much activity that will burn that food. So you have to watch what you eat late in the night or for your dinner, so that you don't start having fat belly or having excess fats. And then when you wake up the next morning, you are tired and things like that due to what you have eaten in the night. Much of your food should be your breakfast and lunch so that you have time to burn it off before you go to bed at night. Then water as well too. Water, like we said earlier, or we health professional, we say water is life. Water is life in the sense that all your cellular activities needs water. Your blood, everything in your body that is fluid needs water. Your kidneys to function, flushes out toxins, flushes out excess salt and waste. We need water. You notice that if you don't drink much water, by the time you urinate, your urine becomes a little bit dark yellow, and then it might start having odor or foaming. Those are signs that you're not taking water. The color of your urine with determines the amount of water you've taken. So, but if you see in your office space, like we women, fine. When women are leaving home, they usually pack breakfast. They'll pack food in their coolers, pack for the children, and they probably pack water too. But most men, they will tell you, how can I be carrying cooler? How can I be carrying water and things like that? Probably because they do not have a car, they will go by public transport and they can't be carrying heavy load. You have to be deliberate about taking water. If you are the person that, if you are the type that you don't drive and you don't want to carry much load, no problem. In your office place, buy water. You can buy bottled water, you can buy pure water that you think that is safe, and then just keep neatly in your office that you can take from time to time. Don't just take water when you are eating. Take water when you're thirsty, take water when you're eating, take water even from time to time to kind of hydrate you and make sure that your body cellular activities is going the way it ought to be. When you don't take much water, your salt level in your cells tends to go up, and once it goes up, it's going to affect your blood pressure and things like that. So you need to take water. For the women, I notice that most times women just take water bottle. They were like, I can't, women now, our Ijebu, we want to conserve money. We're like, I can't be buying water. I'll buy pure water, 100 naira per day. Which account is that? How much am I earning? So we tend to buy water bottle, and most of those water bottles usually come not more than 1 liter. If you are going to drink that 1 liter, no problem. But when you get home, you have to consider the fact that you have not even taken the daily whatever. And before the end of the day, you go to sleep, try and make up for the 2 liters. But at times I see women, when they are going to their work with their children, is that 1 liter water bottle they and their children will take. You have not taken adequate water. So always consider the fact that you have to take water. It's very good for your cells. Then sleep too. Of course, my brother has talked about sleep. You must have long hours of sleep. But during working hours, it depends on where you work. I didn't say you should go and sleep at work. But if at your place of work, you can have a little nap. At times it's good. It gives you brain clarity. If you have been working since morning and you're tired, you want to stretch out, you can just put your head on your table and just have a little nap. Like me, when I get to the office after doing, I resume by 9. I will have done work. I will have done my work at least 80%, move around and things like that. When it's time for Zuri prayers, we have a mosque where I work. I'll just tell my colleagues in the office, please, I want to get to the mosque. When I get to the mosque, say my Zuri prayer, I just lie down on the floor of the mosque there, just have a nap of not more than 25, 30 minutes, provided I know that my work is not lacking. And by the time I get to nothing, I don't have setbacks or I've delayed my work so far. The naps kinds of give you a kind of, clarity and makes your brain refreshed to be able to think straight and move on with your work. Then also exercise, so like my brother said, exercise is very good. Try and create it. One of the benefits of exercise too is it allows pumping of your heart. When your heart pumps at a higher rate, it pumps blood to those organs, and those blood are carrying the nutrients from your food and also carrying oxygen from the air you breathe in. So those organs is what they need is your digested food and oxygen to be able to carry out their function, your cells, your organs, and things like that. So when you exercise, you kind of pump your heart. It's like you're starting a generator. Your heart is the generator. Your exercise starts it up, and then it's able to pump to all the cells in your body, and they'll be able to carry out their function properly. So exercise is good. Then another thing, exercise too, it strengthens your muscles. Our muscles is elastic in nature. When you sit down for long or you have sedentary life, your muscles too are too relaxed. You don't make them elastic. When you exercise, you kind of, smoothing them out to be able to bend and stretch and things like that. So you try and create an exercise that is good for you, either walking, jogging, or yoga and things like that. Then I will not go much into what our brother said. In addition, I also want to mention regular health check. Regular health check. Most times we go to doctors when we must have treated the ailment and we're not getting better. I'm not saying that if you are sick, you cannot, if you have headache, you cannot take paracetamol, or you are feeling feverish, you cannot take anti-malaria, but you have a maximum of 2 to 3 days to watch that ailment. If you're not getting better, or you got better and the thing came back, the next thing is to please go to your doctor. Because ideally, before you take any medication, there must be tests that should be run to be able to establish what you are suffering from. But it might be in the middle of the night you develop fever and you see that these are symptoms of malaria, or you develop headache and you cannot be able to leave the home in the night to go to a doctor. You should have some first aid drugs that you can take that can relieve you. If you are feeling feverish, you can take anti-malaria. And the only reason why it is allowed, WHO standard is allowed to take anti-malaria, is because we're in a pandemic area. We're in an endemic area where we live with mosquitoes. Our environment is dirty, and these mosquitoes are breeding, and we're susceptible to malaria. But by the time you use the 3-day dosage and you are still not feeling better, please go to the hospital and do a test. The doctor will know the right thing to do. Now, for regular health check, what it means is that you are not sick, you are not feeling anything, but you just want to know the state of your health, your body. Your body might have been given a signal that you are not aware of. In fact, doctors will tell you the first doctor to your body is you, because a doctor is not a magician. It is what you tell him or her, and based on the test he requires, the results, he or she will be able to know how to take care of you. So you don't lie to your doctor. If you go to a doctor and you say you are sick, they will ask you, when did this start? Is this the normal thing? Or have you been feeling like this? So you are the first doctor of your body. You should be able to know when your body is healthy and when your body is not feeling well. So even if you are feeling well and you want to do a regular checkup, it's just to know your status and be able to know, okay, this is my condition, I'm fine. And then regular check should be once in 6 months. Though there are some for we women that we can do once a year, like our cervical screening, breast scan, and things like that. But once you are 40, if you are not used to doing regular head check, once you are 40, please, my brother and sister, start with regular head check, because the way our body is naturally, it's like you have a generator or an equipment that you brought brand new. When it's brand new, yes, see, you start it, it will work for you. But after many years, you see that that equipment will not function the way it was functioning when you just bought it. And you might need to service it and things like that. That's the way our body is too. When you get to certain stage in life, you need to be doing regular, the health checks come regular. Your body will be failing in some things. If you are eating a kind of food that you are not feeling, maybe you are used to eating junk, your meat pie every day, I cannot carry food, I'll just buy snacks at work, and your body is not feeling. When you get to a certain age, that junk food you are eating, your body will not be able to tolerate it anymore. And then you start developing high blood pressure or obesity and things like that. So your body, you need, from this regular health check, you'll be able to know, your doctor will be able to know how to treat you and then to tell you about lifestyle changes. Oh, you have to sleep regularly more. The number of hours you are sleeping is too much. You need to sleep this number of hours. You're not taking enough water, or don't eat this kind of food, exercises. Even me, myself, I'm poor at it. Exercises, when we go for all our programs like Muinat, you see that every morning we're being taught to do exercises, and we're encouraged when we get home. But at times you wake up late, you want to get ready to go for work, or you are too tired, or before you take care of the house, exercise the you keep dodging, but there will be a certain time in your life that exercise now becomes like a medicine that you just don't do it, especially when you are dealing with arthritis or joint pains or muscle. You still go back to the fact that you still have to do exercises to exercise those muscles so that they'll be able to serve you. Now, when we're talking about health check, one of the tests we do in the hospital, if you just want to do routine health check, we do EU creatinine. That's your electrolyte, urea, and creatinine. This test, what it tells you is you want to look at the electrolytes in your body, how they are. And the electrolytes in your body are the salts in your cells. We have the sodium, we have the potassium, we have the chlorides and things like that. There must be a kind of balance. The potassium is the one outside the cells, the sodium is the one inside the cell. There must be a balance. One must not be too low, one must not be too high. So when you do this test, they'll be able to tell you that they are balanced. The effect is that once these salts are not balanced, they tend to increase your blood pressure, and then your heart will feel it, and then the cells will start demanding for it. So your EU creatinine will be able to tell us your electrolyte balance. Your creatinine is what you excrete out in your urine. It also has a range that it must not be too high or must not be too low. Another test that will be done if you are doing regular health check is your full blood count. Your full blood count will tell the doctor your blood parameters. Out of it, you have your packed cells by volume, your PVC, which is the number of red blood cells. That is to show if you are anemic or not. Because if you are anemic, you just be feeling tired, dizzy. You won't be able to carry out your regular activities, both in the office at home. So you need to do your PCV to be able to know your blood level. And there's a range for men, especially the nature of your work too, will determine the blood level you have. And let me just tell you one thing, especially we women, we women, we even have blood loss more than the men. We do a monthly menstruation, we give birth, we lose blood, and things like that. So we need to be particular about our diet. And one thing that I've tried that worked for me is vegetables. Vegetables, it's what when I'm talking about vegetables, fruit is part of it, but cooked vegetables, especially these Igbo vegetables. In fact, they have more vegetables than it's common here in Southwest. I'm not saying the Yorubas don't have vegetables, just that here in Lagos, it is the normal vegetable we see, shoko, gure, that we eat. We can, in addition to all those ones, we can go for Igbo vegetables like oha, afang, edikaikon. I deliberately learn how to cook all these vegetables because since birth, my PCV was not more than 30-32. And once I'm pregnant, it falls down to 28-27. And that's a dangerous level. I'm always being warned by my gynecologist that if it falls below, I'll be transfused. So, they manage it for me like that. But ever since, I've had colleagues at office, all these my Calabar colleagues, and said, their soups boost blood and things like that. And I tried it out and it works for me. Now my PCV is 41-42%. All the dizziness, all the whatever. And I had to start it because when I entered, when I started seeing premenopausal syndrome, the dizziness became more, the anemia became more, and I was asked to take multivitamins, which I was taking. But multivitamins too much of drugs has a bad effect on your kidneys. You're not supposed to be on multivitamins every day for the rest of your life. It's not the best. So in as much as you take multivitamins once in a while or when you are sick and you are recuperating, the best is to go to natural fruits. Eat all these vegetables. They boost your blood level. They also give you the necessary nutrients and things like and vitamins and things like that. So in your food blood count, we're going to do the PCB to know your blood level. We're going to do the white blood count. Your white blood count are your cells for defense. They prevent your body from infections or toxins initially. It is only when those infections are toxins are more than their power that you start feeling sick and you start saying, I'm not feeling better, I want to go to the hospital. They are the first, the body's defense mechanism created by Allah. So if they are not in a particular rate, then you are at risk. That means any little ailment that you should be able to fight, you come down with it. So, and then we look at your fibrinogen level too. Those are the parameters we see in your food blood count. Your fibrinogen level is just to tell us if you have a cut or whatever, you won't bleed too much. You see that at times when you have a cut, maybe knife or whatever, after bleeding for some time, you mop the blood stops. And that's because something has clotted your blood. Allah has created those things to clot your blood to prevent you from having blood loss. But once those fibrin level is low, that means any little cut or injury you have, you will lose a lot of blood. So those are the things we look out for in full blood count. No, so also in a regular check, we also look at your urinary listings. Urine is a waste. Yes, you go to toilet, is a waste, is a debt. But to us in the hospital, your urine tells us what's coming out of your body. And if you have an ailment, it gives an indication. For example, if we do your urinalysis, we do the chemistry of the urine. We look out for leukocytes. Your leukocytes is an indication of an infection in your urinary bladder or from somewhere else. But most likely, if you have infection, toilet infection or UTI, your leukocytes in your urine that you are passing. So that's an indication. And then we advise further, do culture, let's see the infection, and know the best drugs. Part of the thing that you see in your urinalysis too, if you see blood, for example, if it's a female that is doing urinalysis and we see blood, we ask questions. Did you just finish your period or are you in your period? Because at times a patient brings blood to the hospital and the urine looks normal. And by the time you do the chemistry, you start seeing a lot of blood. So you might, the doctor will ask the patient further, why is the person bleeding? If it's the normal, menstrual period or the female or thing like that, no problem. But when a man is bringing out blood in his urine, then you need to do further. I've seen a patient that came for medical employment screening. It's even a brother to his staff. I think I was newly employed then, and the urine looks normal and everything. But we do our work, we did the chemistry, and the guy had a very high level of blood that was not even showing the normal color of the urine. The guy is just 29, and he came for the test because he got employment somewhere, and it was to do normal medical screening. And I wrote the result and everything. And the brother being a staff felt I was newly employed. I didn't know what I was doing. And he was just shouting. I was saying, I want to and things like that. I felt insulted. He told my Oga, and my Oga said, okay, but because they are old staff, my Oga felt I'm newly, I don't know. And I told my Oga, if what I did, you are not convinced, let the guy produce another urine. That was yesterday urine. Now let him produce a fresh urine today, and then we see you, Oga, you run it, because I know what I saw. Because when we do this analysis, we also look at it under the microscope, to be able to quantify and things like that. And all and behold, when we gave the guy bottle, urinated in our toilet, and the blood was there. And they were now wondering, this was somebody that was not feeling anything or whatever. He was just doing the screening because he got an employment, and those are the conditions for the employment. So many things can make a guy urinate. It could be parasitic infections. It could be it could be cancer coming on, maybe cancer of the bladder. It could be so many things. It could even be kidney stones or whatever. So from your analysis, when they see blood, they try and trace where it is coming from. So it's not until you pee in the toilet and you see your urine rate that you say you have blood. Some urine, they are number, but tiny microscope will pick it up, and then we're able to tell you have blood. Part of the things you are going to see in your analysis too, if you have yeast, though yeast is when we look at the microscopy of the urine. When we see yeast for female, yeast is not common in female, but it's not rare either, because of the way our reproductive something is. When we are going through hormonal imbalances, and the normal microflora that Allah gave us in the our vagina area is not much in number. Yeast tend to take over, and it depends on your clothing, where you spread your clothing, where you spread your undies and things like that. You can also have yeast in males too. You have seen male urine in males that the yeast are so much, and that could be an inclination of diabetic, because if a patient is diabetic, the patient already has sugar in the blood, and it's going to favor the growth of yeast in so much. So the doctors will know further what to do and how to treat you better. So those are the things. Then what else do we see? Your ketones or glucose too. If you are diabetic, even if you don't know if you are diabetic, by the time you do your analysis, it will pick it up that you have glucose in your urine. And when you're having glucose, it's an indication of diabetes and everything. And then part of the test they might do for you is also stool analysis. Stool analysis is that you bring your stool, and then we look under the microscope and try and see anything pathogenic, such as parasites or eggs of a worm. Or because at times, if you pass physics and you don't see worm, most of us don't kill worm regularly anyway, and you don't see worm, you think you're healthy. Yes, that's true. You are looking at, you might not see worm, but the eggs and cysts of those worms are there. It's only when you come to the hospital, we do your stool analysis, we're able to tell you, you have this worm or you have this cyst, this is what you take. You can take flagyl or whatever, depending on the parasites and things like that, and so on and so forth. Then also chest x-ray. Although regularly, doctor might not ask you for chest x-ray if you are doing a routine medical checkup, but if it depends on your complaint, maybe you have pain in your chest, or you're having cough that is not going and things like that, it might ask you to do chest x-ray to see how what is going on in the lungs and things like that. So these are some of the tests we do for routine checks that might give an indication if you have an infection or a disease at any point in time that you might not even feel anything, but the thing is there and it's giving you signs. So it's very, very good to do regular health check. Then lastly, what I want to say is mental health, just like my brother Taiwo too said about your mental health. Your mental health is part of your health, and at your place of work, even in your outside office hours, your mental health goes a long way to to make you have a good life-work balance. Now, when we're talking about mental health, most times it's when we see madman on the street that is totally naked, or you see somebody doing one-on-one, or must have taken hard drugs, that we think that this person is not okay upstairs. So many things can bring mental health, especially with females. Probably depression, probably hormonal imbalances too. We have women that are giving birth, and once they give birth, some hormones go very high in their body, and they start behaving like a mad woman. Where they are not mad, it is the phase they are passing through. They also need medical check. You might not be having job satisfaction. Probably where you are working, the stress is too much. So many things can cause mental, which I'm just going to mention a few that I know. I don't want to dive into it because I'm not a medical doctor. One of them is if your place of work is far from your house, Probably you have to take about 3-4 buses and you are tired and things like that. Or probably you have to leave home as early as 5 a.m. in order to get to work by 8, your place is far. All those stress, you have delayed your hours of sleep. And like Brother Taiwo said, you don't have prolonged sleep. Because even if you sleep by 8, 9, as Muslims, we will get up in the middle of the night to pray tahajjud. We cannot say because we have stress at work or our place of work is far and then we leave the spiritual aspect. No, you must plan your sleep in such a way that you go to bed early. And by the time you're waking up 4 or latest 5 a.m. to pray tahajjud, you must have at least achieved a minimum of 6 hours. A minimum, that's the minimum. And if you look at the way we do our lifestyle with work, with our programs, with family issues and things like that, we don't have that 6 hours of sleep. We don't. And we said, where is the time? But my brothers and sisters, we have to create it. We have to create that time. It's for our own good. So we don't just drop dead one day and things like that. We have to take care of ourselves too. So, and because we want to rest and have prolonged sleep, we cannot miss out our spirituality, our tahajjud and things like that. We know the importance of tahajjud in our lives. So you plan your sleep in such a way that you go to bed early, and by the time you're waking up 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. or things like that, you must have at least achieved that 6 hours or 7 hours of sleep. And by the time you wake up at that time, you do your tahajjud, you pray, you see that it's almost 5:30, and your Zuru prayer, your Fajr is coming up. You might not be able to, go back to sleep and things like that, and whatever. So you should be deliberate about planning your sleep and your spirituality as well. Then, so part of it is that let your house be closer to where you work, especially with females. Especially with females. We know that we females, Allah has tested us that our home is our priority, especially when you are married. Your home is your priority. You now have to work. You don't have to work where it's so far that you have to leave home early. Where would the children be? You can't put the children in school very early and leave them to the security or anybody. No, that's not the best thing. So you don't look for a work that will overstress you. And you are still going to come back. Any work a woman is doing, you should consider the children first. Well, when am I going to get my children to school? When they close, I should be able to, be back home to pick them up and get home, enough time to be able to prepare dinner, prepare whatever. So that is the kind of work you look for, that your home will not suffer and your own health will not suffer. Because, we get pregnant and things like that. And for the men too, yes, the men are allowed to go as far to look for, source of livelihood and things like that. But they too, they must take care of their health. And we women are the one that will help them out. So if we two women go and come back late tonight, who is going to take care of who? Everybody will be too stressed off. So that is not the best. But all the same, let your place of residence be very close to your workplace so that the stress will not be too much. Then at the same time, the way the world is even going now, we are doing work from home. Outside the country, I have cousins and siblings outside the country that they are now working from home with their laptop, depending on the nature of your work, especially those into ICT and management, business management, and things like that. They work from home, which makes it easy for them to relax. Though, if they are not careful, they might have sedentary lives. But at least if you are working from home, you are closer to home, you spend less transport, you are with your kids, you are at home, and then after hours of work on your system, you can go out and take a walk and jog and things like that. So if your nature of your work, for those of us working in Lagos State, the governor of the state was so magnanimous into giving us that whatever, but I don't know, people took it for granted and they soft and scrap it up. There were some days you are allowed to work from home. Is this COVID era that actually brought it out, because it's been discovered that we're now having a lot of respiratory communicable diseases. Different states of COVID is still with us. We have Lassa fever always coming up early part of the year and things like that. So they're trying to reduce, human to human contact, whereby someone that is sick will not have choice to come to work and infect others. So that is where the, work from home rules comes in and things like that. But, some nature of job, you can't work from home. Like we in health, we have to be in the, in the hospital to take care of sick people. So you also need to take care of yourself. Then another thing I want to talk about your health is our dressing. Our dressing matters a lot into our mental health. When we don't dress appropriately to work, the first thing people will think of is, alájà yóò ní alájà yóò gbádùn, alájà yóò kò ríta. Both male and female, you have to dress well. You don't have to dress expensively, wear designer shoe or whatever. No, whatever you can afford, you are wearing. Make it neat, make it ironable, make yourself presentable. It shows you as a professional, you should be presentable. Either you are wearing native or corporate or whatever. We very, very, cautious of the way you dress, because the way you dress is the way they are going to approach you. If you don't dress well, they will not respect your professionalism. They will not respect your professionalism. So you have to be cautious about your dressing. Then lastly, attitude. Yes, attitude to work. Your attitude matters a lot. And your attitude matters when you are in the right, mental health. Because in our workplace, we are not only dealing with Muslims. We're dealing with people of that region. We're dealing with people of other tribes with different upbringings. And then the office politics is there. Some people want to outshine you because they are probably looking for promotion, a particular post, or probably want favor with the head of department or management and things like that. So many office politics. And you know that we as Muslims, we can't do any and anything. We can't just jump into anything and say because everybody's doing it, we're doing it. No, we have guidelines and rules by religion which must follow. So the first thing that, as a Muslim, is at your workplace, first and foremost, you are like you are an advocate, a vicegerent of Allah on earth. You are to carry out the best practices of your profession. You are not supposed to be caught doing corruptible acts. You are not supposed to be lying or other things. Let them know you for who you are, that you're a truthful and upright Muslims. That is what our religion teaches. So your attitude to what matters. I am always appalled when I see people saying, that job, how much are they even paying? And the welfare is bad and things like that. You keep complaining about the salary, you keep complaining about the welfareism. All those things brings bad attitude and bad mental health. Because I tell my colleagues at work, if you think the salary is poor, whatever, why don't you leave the job and go somewhere else? They will not tell you that now they don't have choice. And that gives them room for stealing. You see them doing all sorts of corruptible acts, all in dreaming that what they are paying us is not much. So I'm like, you now collecting money from patients or doing corruption, we need now augment what you are being given. Is wrong, because what you are doing that Allah does not put barakah will not yield good fruits. So fear Allah first in your work and have the right attitude when you wake up in the morning. And one of them is you must you must know that you must have passion for what you are doing. I know that what I'm going to do, I'm seeking for Allah's pleasure. Then when the salary comes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put his barakah for you. So have the right mentality. Don't get yourself involved in office gossip or rumors. That one's even very common. Rumor. People are always looking for people that are dating. Yeah, this one's husband is dating this one. All those rubbish. It's not part of our culture and everything. So always try to be the best at your work. Have the right mental, attitude towards your work. So that's all I have. I know my time is past 7. Sorry, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Malam Babi, we cannot take this. Is that my network?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah. So once again, we appreciate the two speakers, the person sharing your thoughts. So
Your
our time
voice
is
is
perfect.
your voice is going off and on. You need to stay close to the mic, sir.
Okay, can we hear me now?
Far better.
Yes. Okay, so thank you. So for the observation. So like I was saying, we have those 2 items before we close the session. We want to take just one feedback or 2 feedbacks from participants on this call. Then after that, Alhaji Isaka Adeboye will give us a closing remark and a closing prayer to end this session. So if you have any remark, comments or feedback from our audience, we will have to take one or two before we move to Alhaji Isaka for his closing remark. So if you are, please just raise up your hands. I will capture you from my end here. Okay, so it seems we don't have any body who want to comment on any of the presentations. So we move straight to Alhaji Isaka to give us his closing remark.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So we thank Allah for giving us the opportunity to witness this program, and we thank our facilitators, the two lecturers, Mr. Taiwo and Hajia Muinat. May Allah reward them abundantly. They have given us more than enough, and I believe we have gained a lot from their presentation. We all know those things that we don't use to take care of before. They have made us to realize those things that are now very important for our survival. There are many things that affect our health, but which we just don't, we underrate their effects. So by now, we have known the importance of food, importance of exercise, importance of going to do checkup regularly. So, and I believe we are going to take to put them into practice, and to make sure we make them part of our daily life. So we pray that Allah will reward them with abundance of goodness for giving us these lectures. And for every one of us that are present, we thank you all for your attendance. And because without people attending, the lecture will be useless. And for those who have missed this opportunity, they will know that they have missed a lot. So we pray that God will make us to know the right thing and be able to do them. Well, though we believe that many people have gone for other programs, so that is why this one happened. But we actually thank God for being part of those who benefit from this, and we thank those our lecturers who did the right thing for us. Thank you very much. And also, I should not forget the organizers. Thank you for your efforts and for making it a success. We thank God for everything. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. They say we still need to pray too. We also pray that Almighty God will be with each and every one of us, wherever we may be now. God will protect us and protect our family. And we remember our brothers all over the world, especially where the war is going on, like Palestine. We pray that God will give them victory and give each and every one of us victory over our problems. So, Rabbana atina fi dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So thank you so much, sir. So we thank every one of us who joined this call. We appeal to you to watch out for our other programs. In few months' time, we're having a capacity building course. We'll also call on you to participate in those programs. So this program is also the first edition. That's the brief one. The brief two will also be coming up sometime next year, to early next year. We hope that may Allah spare our life till then. So until then, I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks for joining.